Oi. 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 Right.
What up, people? Crack Lemonade here, and we are here to play one of the worst fighting games on the Super Nintendo, Ballz 3D, and specifically the Super Nintendo version because of the opening theme song. So with Ballz 3D, they were like, hey, we don't have to make a theme song. We can just use the voices to do the opening theme song for the game. And on Sega Genesis, it sounds perfectly fine. On Super Nintendo, it sounds like what you just heard, which is why I just had to let it play. And honestly, this game is bad. I don't even know what to say about it. I'm not gonna, I don't think I can further elaborate on this. I had this for the Sega Genesis growing up, and when I heard about the differences between the opening theme song, I got the Super Nintendo version. So, I did play this growing up. I remember being somewhat tolerable at it, or what, maybe? I don't know. But playing this again was some of the most agonizing minutes of my life, and I wanted it to end, but I also wanted it to be long enough to make a video about, which, these were two opposing things that were going on in my mind at once. And yeah, I don't know. Trying to move in a 3D space with a Super Nintendo controller is rough. The hit detection is kind of rough. I don't know, I just had trouble landing hits on this version. I did not play the Sega Genesis version for doing this video. That could probably be done at a later date if I want to torture myself in the future. But right now, I don't. So I won't. There's not really a lot to say about this game. It's these weird arenas. A lot of them have LED screens where it just say weird things on the back. And then they have the screens, the flickering TV screens in the background. And sometimes, the Men in Black pop up on there. And, again, why those screens say what they say, that is, between the developers and the Lord, I guess. I don't know. But it is just random. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And it's a taunt the ostrich. The other thing too is I don't know how to pull off complex moves on here. And the computer is really good at just kind of grabbing you out the air and doing this exploding attack and throwing its head. And Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand where they got this idea from or who tested it. If they did any kind of focus groups on, having people play this video game, because it doesn't seem like any of that is done. Because at the end of the day, you just saw the Men in Black, right? At the end of the day, this game, it is an anomaly to me. I don't understand why it exists. I don't understand why they were trying to do 3D on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Especially when it comes to not only 3D models, but moving in like a 3D space. Like, I feel like you could have chose one and succeeded. Like, if this was like a 2D fighter and the models were made of balls and looked somewhat 3D, maybe that could work. But the way it is now is just like the struggle for 3D has just always been real. And I think a lot of people look at the PS2 era, like especially like the Mortal Kombat games, Deception, Deadly Alliance, and Armageddon, where you could like move in a 3D space, and even Mortal Kombat 4 for the PlayStation, you can move in a 3D space. It is a little bit like awkward to control, and it is something that I feel like if you play it enough, you can probably get used to. But at the same time, it is frustrating enough for most people not to take the time and get used to it. And that's what Ballz 3D is. Like, you could probably get used to this game, but why? Why would you even take the time to get good at this game? And I don't know why it's defaulted to 3 wins, but that's what made it more painful for me as well. It's just a game that existed. It has a funny name, and at the same time, it has a variety of characters that don't really have any characters. They're just kind of archetypes. Like, you can tell that Bruiser is a bodybuilder and Turbo Man's like supposed to be like fast because he's wearing blue and white. But like, why are these people? What is the goal? What is happening? I don't know. I don't know these things. And it's probably explained in the manual. I don't have the manual for either version of the game. So, yeah, I don't know why any of this is happening. I don't know anything about this world. And I don't want to look it up. And I don't know why the Men in Black pop up on the screen. I don't know if that's like some kind of like reference to the creators of the games. I don't know. I don't know what Haunt the Ostrich is all about, especially since there's no ostrich. Maybe there's an ostrich character, but I feel like maybe that should only show up when the ostrich character is present. But yeah, I don't know. This is a game where maybe if you play it with somebody else and you are both terrible at it, you can probably have some fun, but you shouldn't play it. Like, you shouldn't buy it at all. And I got it because it was a game that I had in my childhood, but also because the intro song is funny. But if you don't have to own this, you should, right? And it's not highly recommended. I'm not telling you, hey, this is a hidden gem. This is not a hidden gem. This is probably something that should be hidden. And if you like this game, sure, cool. I'm not gonna argue with you about your liking of this game. I'm not gonna say that you're wrong about that. If you are actually somewhat good at this game, that's props to you for taking the time to like get good at that game, at this game. Because also, why? Like, it's not like there is some kind of, or actually maybe, I don't know, maybe there is like some kind of super top secret turbo hidden old school online Ballz 3D fighting community, and they're just like playing like a modded version over the internet and like just not playing better games. I don't know, because why would you do that? I don't even, like, I said that and I thought it up, and at the same time, while I was thinking it up, it sounds so ridiculous because there are so many other better fighting games that you could actually play. There are better fighting games on the Super Nintendo that you could actually play. Like, dude, no, you shouldn't play this game at all. That's all. Yeah, I don't know. I really do think that it's an interesting concept. But also, what action pampering? I don't know what's going on. Raz, Flax, that loser. All right, but I don't understand why. Like, there was, and there still is to a degree, like this kind of graphics race of like making the best possible game. And for some reason, people were like, we gotta do 3D on the Sega Genesis. We gotta make things look 3D on the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. And it's just why? Like, why did you have to try that? Like, what was that about? Like, we didn't, I don't know who asked, but if someone asked, they should apologize for asking, because that's just mean. You tell somebody to do something that difficult to do, where they could just make a really good 2D game. I didn't look up this company. I imagine that this company is defunct now, as is a lot of companies and developers from the Sega Genesis era. There really is a lot of companies that go under, and like I've said previously, that's why like certain games are really expensive. Like low print runs, the company just is unable to move forward, and we're left with a limited number of games. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I gotta say about Ballz 3D. Maybe one day, possibly, maybe, I could possibly, maybe, play this on the Sega Genesis and see if I'm any better. But the chances are probably not. So don't bet on it. If I'm strapped for games to play, which I that's not looking like that anytime soon, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, it's been Crack Lemonade. I've been rambling, and hopefully that rambling has been enjoyable to you whenever you decide to listen to this. And I will catch you next time.